Hello, my beautiful friends. Doubt, self-doubt. Who has never had self-doubt? You probably, if you're listening to this, you've had some doubt at some point. That's what I want to talk about today. What can you do about it? And what are the consequences if you don't? So, hello, you wonderful friends, and welcome to this video. There are two different types of doubt I want to talk about, really the second one, but just to make sure that you understand what the difference is between the two. So when we talk about doubt, we can mention the doubt that we have before we do something because we are thinking about it, we want to give it a bit more time before we make that decision. Okay, so that we might call it doubt. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do. I'm not too sure if I should go ahead, if not. Now that doubt that we call doubt is really about weighing in the consequences. And in a way, people talk about it as healthy doubt, because this really is a sign of maturity, is a sign that maybe you're an impulsive person. I mean, I know that I can be quite impulsive, but I also weigh things in. It means that I do take risks. I am that type of person, especially when you are self-employed. You already have that in you. Otherwise, you would not be self-employed, for instance. If you work for yourself, if you are an entrepreneur, you take risks. But they are not silly risks, right? They are not, oh, I'm just going to put everything in there and I don't care what happens. We take risks and we weigh things in. So if we have doubts maybe before we do something a certain way, maybe before we launch a project or which one to launch, yes, there is some doubt in the sense that we are weighing in the consequences or what results could we have. That is a sign of, it could be maturity, a sign that you are taking things seriously. The doubt I'm talking about today is that self-doubt that stops you from living the life that you want, from being the person you are, that you want to be, because you really are. That self-doubt that stops you from reconnecting with your freedom, because that self-doubt is living in that vibration of fear, that frequency of fear. That's the doubt I want to talk about today. Now, before I carry on, if you want to go to my podcast, episode number 42 is all about fear. And you probably have a bit more there. So I'll leave the link below. But this doubt is a doubt that can come from so many different sources. It could come from your childhood. It could be self-doubt about yourself. You're not allowing yourself to be really who you are. You're not allowing yourself to explore things in life that you really want to explore. You're not allowing yourself to be fulfilled in life, to follow those dreams, to be prosperous, to be successful, to be at peace, to be in the relationship that you want. That's the doubt that I am really talking about here. So anything that is stopping you then from doing all this, having all this, being all this, comes from somewhere. And it comes from some beliefs. It comes from whatever you've heard about yourself. It comes from that place that we use. I've spoken before, and I leave the the link here. So it comes from how you navigate life, your belief system that you're using, that shows you what you can do, what you can't do. And so when you're trying now to step out of your comfort zone and do something because you really want to be that, you know you are that person, and now you want to be it. It's no good just thinking about it, you want to be it. And that stops you. I mean, procrastination also has some self-doubt in there. Now, if we continue listening to that ego mind that is keeping you, as I say, our brain is wired to keep us in that safe place. That safe place is not a happy place, as I always say. It's a place where you feel that comfort because you know it. It's familiar. It's your habits. It's what you've been believing for so long. It's what you've seen other people do in your family, for instance. So it is habits of thinking, habits of being, habits of talking, how you speak and what you expect. So all that is keeping you in that place, not believing about yourself, not thinking that you are good enough to do something. You look around and you want that, and you know you are capable of that, and yet you stop yourself. That voice of doubt, that voice, that ego mind, ego consciousness that keeps on giving you that doubt. Are you sure about this? Well, you could be rejected. You could be mocked. And what if people don't take you seriously? And what if, and we stay in that place, but we know we are not happy there. We really know this is just not good enough. I cannot be here any longer. And the longer we leave it, the worse it gets. The worse it gets. And, we could be in depression, having a nervous breakdown, giving up on life, just feeling angry. So what can you do? So I'm going to give you 3 things today because there is a lot here. And I work with my clients an awful lot around that because there is always an element of self-doubt. Always. It doesn't matter what they come with. So if they come around relationships, and not just with a partner, but any relationship, any connection, at some point I recognize it. There is that self-doubt. So I work with them around that precise area. So, but whatever you are coming with, whatever you're thinking about, there are 3 things that you can start doing now. The first thing, take action. I know it feels like, well, it's simple, but I can't take action because I'm doubting myself. Well, take action anyway. You have to go and do it. You have to take that step, right? So if you want to be a writer and you're already comparing yourself, oh, I'm not good enough because, wow, that one, I can't really write like that. Okay, that's fine. Right, if you want to be the best swimmer ever, you've got to start somewhere. You're not going to go from here, from not really being very good at swimming to a champion, but you have to start. So let's just say you want to be a writer. Start a blog, write every day, little things. It doesn't have to be that much. Maybe a few sentences about, observe something and write about what you've observed. But you take action. That's the first thing to do. I can give you so many examples, but I'm going to give you an example that is relevant to what I'm doing now. I've got a podcast, and I love doing podcasts, and I still do. I sort of left it for a little while because I was doing more videos, but I've started, getting back to that. Podcasts, great. But just over a year ago, I really knew that the best way to connect with the people I really want to help was videos, because I really felt that when people see you, they connect better with you, and they probably see you more as a human being talking to them than just listening. Some people like both. Some people prefer just podcasts. They don't need to see you. But I knew that doing videos was definitely going to be, wow, a big step for me, right? It was really going to help me connect more and more with people. So that self-doubt started, and yet I did a podcast on that before that. But there you go. I put myself in that position, self-doubt, and I thought, I need to walk the talk. It's not good just being here for my clients. I also have to do it myself. So I started a couple of videos, and I was horrified. I really was. I mean, this time last year, I think I just started doing a few more. I can assure you that doing a video, when I just started, I did videos like this, and I also did stories on Instagram, because stories on Instagram, when you video, it goes after 24 hours, and I thought, nobody's ever going to see that again. But a video where I would put it on YouTube, and yet I started that YouTube channel, I just could not bring myself to create any video to go on there. The self-doubt was horrendous. It really was. So I did it. I took action. Okay, take action. Do it anyway. And I cried. I would go through the videos and I cried. I literally cried. I was so upset to see myself. I hated seeing myself. It was so uncomfortable. I definitely stepped out of my comfort zone, and I just could not put myself through it. But I knew I had to do it. So I carried on. And now I just think about the message, how I'm helping people. It's not about how I look. It's not about anything like that. I just thought the message. I have been a teacher. I mean, I don't really teach as much now. Well, not in schools anyway. Well, 25 years ago, I actually started. So for about 12 years in higher education, like A-level students. And then 2 years at university, that I taught at university, and then secondary school. I feel very comfortable speaking directly, and I love teaching, and I love helping people through that. I really love that. So live in front of people, I'm fine, but a camera, I was not. And it was torture. It really was torture, but I had to do it because I could not take my business to that higher level because of my self-doubt. It was crazy. It was absolutely, no, I just had to do it because the consequences were worse. So I just did that. And do you know something that I learned? And I'm going to tell you. So come here. Nobody cares. I know it sounds harsh, but nobody cares about you really. And I'm not saying that in a horrible way, but that's what I learned. It's not that nobody cared about me as such. It's that when you are there doing your stuff, people are not there looking at you for you in that sense. Is what you bring them. So do you know what? Whether I have this hair color or I haven't, whether I have makeup or I haven't or whatever, of course you want to attract people. When you are talking to people, you know, you still have to be decent. I'm not saying that, but hey, the details, it doesn't matter. because my message is to help people. This is not a fashion show, right? This is not about me as a fashion model. My gosh, definitely not. So the fact that I was so worried about that, this is not about that. If you want to be a writer, if you want to do something and somebody criticizes you, it says more about them than about you. And in that case, what do you care? Because they don't care about you going for your dream, you having the guts to do it. They don't feel good enough about themselves, so they have to criticize somebody else. Are they really worth it? Are you really going to spend your life not doing the things or being that person you know you are because of what other people have got to say? Well, they should be doing it themselves. So people don't really care in that way because they care about themselves. They want to feel good about themselves as well. So the fact that you are brave and you're going for it, they're thinking, what the heck? I think I'm going to do that as well. You're giving them that courage to do that too. And so take action because it's for you. And I tell you what, you will feel better. And it is small steps. You don't have to go from here to there in one step. In fact, I saw this meme, this photo about 2 ladders. I think I've said that before, I mentioned that in another video. And the first ladder has got small steps, and the other one really high steps. The one with the smaller steps is managing to get a bit higher. The other one is really got to find, and it was still at the bottom of the ladder because it was far too high to get to the next step. So little steps is fine. I did that, and you'll find that everybody does that. So take action because you don't have to worry about what other people say or think. It's about you. It's about allowing you to reconnect with your freedom. It is. It's your life. So that's the first thing. The second thing is learn. Learn instead of criticizing. So this one is, if you learn from that, you're less likely to be harsh on yourself, to criticize yourself and then give up. So learn from that. When I started doing videos, I just thought so many things were not that good. I could do it better. But I learned. And also what I learned is that it's not about perfection. Honestly, I managed to get the information I wanted, like on YouTube, on videos, from people who have nothing, the great technology at all. Why? Because I'm listening to what they have to say. I'm listening to that message. If I want to go and follow somebody about interior decorating, then yes, of course, then I will look at the decoration, the house and what they do, because that's the purpose of it. But if the purpose of me helping people is my message is to encourage them, to coach them, to teach them, to support them, does it really matter what is behind me if it's not that exciting? It's about helping people. So we have to learn from what you're doing, and learn and do it a bit differently. Learn, okay, I could do that differently. I could do this maybe if I listen to somebody else, or maybe instead of giving too much information, I only give 2 pointers, or maybe, it doesn't matter. So if you want to be an artist, you do it slowly. You're not going to be, it doesn't mean obviously that you've got a gift. That's great. You've got the gift and you just go for it. But just because you believe you don't have that gift That doesn't mean you can't allow yourself to experiment with art. So start step by step and feel good about the little steps that you're doing. So learn from that. Learn. Ask somebody else who is really good at that. Ask for guidance. Go on some videos. How do you do that? How do they do that? And feel that, that satisfaction from doing one thing, from feeling, yes, I've got another video on celebrating your wins, and I'll put that as well. So please go and listen to that if you want. It's a really good one about those little wins. So that's the second one. The third pointer that I have is talk to that doubt. Yes, I know, talk to it. I do that a lot with my clients as well. And when I say talk to it, is just imagine, that's very much an NLP thing as well. So imagine that doubt. What does it look like? Talk to it. What are you trying to tell me? Why are you trying to stop me? What is it? What are you afraid of? What if I started anyway? What is it saying to you? What does it look like? And just speak to it. Why are you showing up now? When you start talking to it, and again, of course, with my clients, because I have something very precise, it's easier to go through this process with them. So I really refine that, teach them how to use this technique. But it's really good. It's really good because what you realize is that doubt is not you. That's not you. Is that voice, is that ego consciousness, is that other part, is on the third dimension frequency at the bottom. It doesn't come from love, from that freedom that you are able to be who you want to be, to do what you want to do, to have what you want to have. That's from your freedom part. That doubt is from the lower frequency of that ego mind, ego consciousness. That is one part of that brain that stops you from going forward. In a way, it's believing that it's keeping you safe, but it's not really that you are safe, right? So talk to it, because then you realize that's not really part of me. It's there. It's outside of me. And there I can do something about it. You see, when you see something that is outside of you, you don't get attached to it. You don't have to connect with that. You can just, it's there. And so if you have that conversation with doubt, you can then say, okay, I get that. Honestly, it really works. Because, I do that with whatever, with other things, not just when I talk about doubt. And it really works. It's amazing what you get, the answers you get. It's almost like doubt is talking to you. It's like a person talking to you, talking back and answering your questions. It's honestly so amazing. And suddenly you understand, oh wow, that's where it comes from. Oh my gosh, okay, I can do something about it. And so there, you're not just pretending it doesn't exist, but you now using more your power. You're empowering yourself, and you're saying, it's like talking to a child, I understand where you're coming from, and I understand that you think I might be rejected, somebody might mock me, but do you know what? It's okay, I'm still going to try, because somebody anyway might use my courage to then give themselves permission to do it. And it really, really works. So do that. That's the 3 things. Ultimately, what I would say to you is that ask yourself this question as well. What has self-doubt cost you? Or what is it still costing you? What has it cost you? What is it costing you? Because there is a cost attached to doubt, to self-doubt. There is a cost. And that cost, well, some people, they don't want to pay that cost. They don't, because they know that in 5 years' time they're still going to be here. They're not going to live their life. So the cost is far too much. So what is it costing you? Are you prepared to pay that cost? Instead of just taking action, go for it, and then learn from it and speak to it. And then you'll feel, yes, I've done this. Go and see that video about the small wins, how to celebrate that, and think, yes, I'm doing this. And then you get onto that stretch zone. You know, you've stretched yourself, you've done that. But once that becomes familiar again, that then becomes another comfort zone, a comfort place. So you'll stretch yourself again. But it's like something you've already done, so you repeat that process. Because you really need to ask yourself, what is self-doubt costing you? And are you happy to look back in 10 years' time and think, wow, that was a heavy price to pay, and now I wish I hadn't done it? So go for it. A very, very good friend of mine told me years ago, when I was starting my healing journey and I was in a very bad place, lots of doubt again, and he said to me, it's better to regret the things you have done than regret the things you haven't done. I never forgot that, never. And even though I already was quite a brave in some ways, but that really made me think very deeply about this. And I thought, yeah, you know what, you're right. So ask yourself that question. I really hope that this is helping you or has helped you. If you have any questions, please put them here, any comments, anything to share. I'd love to hear what you feel about all this, what your fears are, what your struggles are, what is stopping you from doing this. Any advice, anything that you want, please get in touch. I would love to hear from you. Again, I'm leaving everything here, how to get in touch with me, how to get more information or other videos, podcasts. Be part of the membership site that I have. It's a wonderful weekly coaching mastermind group. Just on the newsletter every week, you'll have something for you to go through. But remember, you are not doing this alone. You really are not. We are all connected. And this is why it's so beautiful. We are all connected in that essence of love that we are, in that essence of freedom that you are. So please, you are here to live your life the way you came here, with that purpose to live it. And it's not just for you, it's for all of us, because we are all connected. If you stop yourself, you are stopping your gifts. You are stopping from helping others or touching somebody's life or whatever it is. And you not living the life that you came to live is going to have an impact, you see. So please just go ahead and do it, because we're all here on the same boat, as we say. So everybody is going through that. Some people have already got to the higher frequency, but we're here, all of us together. So I hope I'll hear from you very soon. I hope I'll be able to read your comments. Please share this video. I'd love for you to share this, subscribe, and leave comments, like it, so that more and more people will be able to find us. And that's that for today. So wherever you are, I am sending you lots of love.